I thought I'd just show how I painted this painting, Apple Blossom. I began with gelatos, which are creamy, sort of pastel-y sort of things. They're water soluble, and I love working on canvas with them because they are water soluble, but when they've been wet they dry permanently and it actually looks like watercolor. Now here you can see that I'm using Inktense pens. They're also water soluble and dry permanently, so they're great. Great to work with on canvas or on paper, whatever. And the reason I like these is because you can do the fine lines with them. The others are a sort of creamy and almost more like an oil pastel, but they are water soluble. Now I always start by spraying water onto the canvas, and then I draw onto a wet surface. You see, I can use my finger to smear them out. I really think that the flowers here, I'm taking a look at it, are a bit too pale, so I'm going to use a red paint on top. Here you can see how the pens have run. I love the effect where the crayons and the pens have run and have left this sort of watercolour effect on the canvas. I really like that. There's so much pigment in these pens and these gelatos, so you get a really lovely effect. But here you can see that the flowers are a little bit pale, so I decided that I'm going to actually use a stencil. And so I take a stencil and a spray paint in red, and I'm spraying through it, as you can see, in different areas. Now the paint builds up on the stencil, you'll see this now, and I'm going to turn it over and press off the paint, almost like a stamp. So I use all the paint that ends up on the stencil, either through it or turning it round and printing with it. And you get different effects there. You get both positive and negative effects there, which I really like. Now you can see here that on the leaves I've used jelly prints, which I've ripped out and used as collage, and that's also to create visual interest on the painting, and also creates pattern. Here you can see where I've sprayed on top of the flowers. I've also added fluid acrylics in the background, the turquoise and the green there. And then you see the fine lines here. I've used acrylic pens to draw on top so that I've got outlines. And we'll see a detail here. You can see the veins on top of the jelly prints on the leaves. I've used an acrylic pen there. And now I'm showing you here where I've sprayed the red through the stencil. Now this is the finished painting, and I'm very pleased with it. I've added darks to the background as well. Here you can see the lines added with the acrylic pens, and a few more there, and the pattern through the stencil. So yeah, I'm very pleased.